Morning, y'all. It's Nikki from the Steel Magnolia. Today we're going to take a break from cups and work on something near and dear to my heart. Today we're going to make surgical masks. A friend of mine on Facebook had sent out a plea that her and other nurse friends are out of masks. And so I called up my mom, who's also a nurse, and asked her if she was running out, and they said that they're asking everybody to reuse their masks because people are stealing them, they're running out, they don't have enough. The problem with reusing masks, you can't wash the surgical masks provided at the hospital. And being in the healthcare field, you need to be able to have a clean mask so you're not spreading everything. So the friend who posted it had also posted a link for a tutorial on how to make a mask. The only problem was it was a 2-ply mask. If you have a 2-ply mask, you have to wear that on top of a normal surgical mask. Again, you're not able to wash. So what I have done is tweaked that quite a bit and created a 4-ply so that they don't have to put another mask underneath. This is a 4-ply mask. It's washable, super easy to make. Hopefully you guys have some fabric laying around the house and you can help make these and donate these to the healthcare workers in your area. So what you're gonna need to make this is 2 sheets or 2 pieces of fabric. Each one of these is 8 inches by 14 inches. So 2 8 by 14, and you're gonna, we'll get to it, but you're gonna back them up printed side to printed side. Okay? And then you have some options as far as how to secure them to your face. They, in the original tutorial, had asked for 1/4 inch elastic. When I did this on my first mask, I didn't like it. It was pulling my ears down. It was too tight on my face. So I feel like to get a more universal fit for everybody, the tie method is the best way to go. It's going to fit all head shapes, hair, all that sort of thing. You can buy, and this is not the right kind, of binding. You would want it a little smaller than this. This is a little bigger than 3/4 an inch. So I would get maybe like a 1/4 inch, something smaller, or what we're going to do is make our own. So this one right here is about 21 inches. And just to give you an idea of how it ties, so there's plenty of room to get a tie. That was 21 inches. I would say no shorter than 16, but 2-inch strips. So you want them about 2 inches wide and then 16 to 21 inches long. Just depending on who you're making it for. So that is what you're going to need. You're going to need pins to pin in the pleats, right? Those little things. And you're going to need an iron to press everything down, and a sewing machine is very helpful. So I will post all of the things below that you're going to need, and let's get started to make one. Okay, y'all, first thing we're going to do is take our 2 pieces of fabric, and I'm going to iron them out, but I want to put them so that the backs are the ones facing out. And then I'm going to come over here. This is actually my heat press, but I'm using it today as an ironing board. It's much easier to work with straight surfaces. You don't have as much bunching. Okay, now if you're not very experienced at this, I would suggest to pin it. And I am about out of my spool of thread, so I may have to stop and change it. And then we're just going to run a seam down the long side. So not the short side, the long side. And now I'm going to trim that while I'm thinking of it. Okay, let me trim that. Okay, so now you have a tube. What you're going to do is flip it inside out. So now that you have the right side with the right side. This next step is totally optional, but again, it helps me. I'm going to iron with the seams at the top and bottom. They're not going to be perfectly top and bottom. They're going to be slightly one way or the other. Okay, so now I have the seams here and the seam is there. Okay, so now my next step, fold this in half so that I have a seam, and a folded edge, and then this is my raw edge. And again, if you need to pin it. I'm just going to slap it in there. Okay. And one more time, I'm going to flip it inside out. There's my seam, and again, I'm going to press it. Okay, now here's what I would call the hardest part of it all. We're going to make the pleats. Now, you can measure these out, make sure they're perfect. Since I'm making so many of these in bulk quantity, I am just pinning and going. So, as you can see from there, that's about how much I'm pinning up, maybe a little more than 1/4 inch, maybe half, almost half. Probably closer to 1/4. And then I'm just going to pin it. Now the next one shouldn't, you can feel there the lump of the bottom right here. I don't want to overlap that. And I'll show you a side view as soon as I get it pinned. So as you can see, my pleats, where one ends, the other one begins. And I'm going to do one more, so 3 of them. Okay, so there's the mask. Before we do another sew mark and sew these pleats, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my straps, and then my straps I'm going to stick inside where that little pocket is, so top and bottom, and then I'll sew everything together. If you want I don't have any with me, you know, the flexible wire. If you had any flexible wire, you could stick it through there and then stitch it. This would create an actual hard nose piece. If I can find some laying around the house, I'll do another tutorial. That would help keep the gap between the nose and the cheeks minimal. Okay, so we're going to set that to the side. So to make the straps, I have 4 pieces of the 2" by whatever inch you got. First thing I'm going to do I should use it. Let me use a different color so maybe you can see a little better. I've got some gray over here. I just got to cut it. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is fold it in half and iron. Now, these strips aren't perfectly straight. That's okay, because they're going to be so folded and messed it up and nested. Do you like that? Messed it up. Okay, then I'm going to take, that seam that I just created, that line, I'm going to fold in the edges, and you might have to do this one side by one side. Okay. So that the two edges meet up in the middle. Again, doesn't have to be totally perfect, because we're gonna fold it again, we're gonna sew it. It's not gonna be the prettiest thing. Okay. Okay, so now what you have is this. Okay. That was the original. We folded it into the line. Now what we're gonna do is, again, fold it in half. One of your ends, doesn't matter which one, which I'll do it first, you're gonna fold in, just one end, fold this in before you flip it in half. That's going to be the end that sticks out of the mask. It's gonna be the end of it. The other end is going to go inside the mask, so you don't have to bother folding it. This is the most time-consuming piece. Okay. I usually do all 4 of mine and then I stitch them. I'm going to speed up the video while I do the rest. Okay, now I have all 4 strips finished. I'm going to use, this always gets stuck on my machine, so I'm going to start with the raw end first. And what I'm going to do is just run a stitch all the way down it. And there you have it. And I'm going to do this with all 4 of my straps. Okay, I have all 4 of my straps stitched. Hey y'all, so quick edit. Someone had given the idea of using pipe cleaners. Remember how I said if you had a little piece of the flexible metal? Pipe cleaners. I have a hoard of them. So in this step, before you sew down the sides and put in your straps, I suggest measuring out the length, probably about half of a pipe cleaner. Okay, half of a pipe cleaner, and then just slide it into the top there, just like that. And then what we're going to do is stitch right along the top. Okay, just like that. And then we still have room to put in our straps. Okay, but now this way, when they put the mask on, it can bend to their face. That has needles in it. So yeah, now it's a little more form-fitting over their nose, and they're going to be able to bend it a lot more. So quick little addition there before you sew on your straps. If you have any pipe cleaners laying around, sew one right into the top there. So the next thing I'm going to do is stick them inside that little pocket. Oops, sorry. The little pocket that's inside there. I'm gonna just stick it in probably about like that, because I'm gonna try to run 2 stitches down this. My last one I only did 1, but I want to do a second stitch to get it as secure as possible. Make sure long term it's gonna stay. Just pin it in there. Okay, I'm going to start with this side and then I'll do the other. There you have it. So they're in there good, but I'm going to run a second stitch about 1/4 inch away from there. Very cute. Trim all your strings. Okay, and now it's time to do the other side. Now that I have stitches on both sides, I can take out the pins. And now I'm going to run that second stitch. There you have it, guys. Okay. Here's my mask. And there you have it. There's your mask, double stitched. Okay. And it will fit plenty of length per time. So if you have extra fabric laying around, make these for yourself, but also make these for any of your healthcare providers. First responders, anybody who is out there in the medical field are in desperate need of these. So if you can donate your time, donate a little fabric, these are going to be a lifesaver. All right, guys, if you have any questions, just let us know. Email info@thesteelmagnolia.com. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help.